What is up, YouTube? It is me, Faith and Moliminous. Hey, guys, what makes a shit show and what makes a good show? Objectively, every show you like is shit, and everything that I say is good is objectively right because I have a YouTube channel. That's pretty much how it works, right? I mean, that's what I get from the people who still think that Teen Titans Go is a bad show because YouTubers found out finally in the cartoon community that hating things generates clicks. Yeah. Apparently, hate gets views, and by proxy makes money. Lots of money. Look at Justin Bieber. His entire career probably would not have been as big as it is if it wasn't for the massive amount of hate he got in the start. When this guy puts out a video, that's like billions of views. Or at least a billion. Same thing with PewDiePie. Hate promotes content. That's just how it works. And boy, has Teen Titans Go been catapulted to the front of everything. Just look at the time slots, which they also love to put out there. I get it. I understand why Teen Titans Go is hated. It's kind of taking away from the original Teen Titans, which was left on a major cliffhanger. I grew up with Teen Titans just like all these other millennials. That was my ish right there. That, Toonami, all of those shows. And I loved it. But you know what I also love, or at least greatly enjoy? Teen Titans Go. You see, a show is good not by some sort of overarching measure of goodness, which is subjective and doesn't exist because there's no such thing as objective opinions, but it's based upon what the show is looking to achieve. Would you rate an NES game at the same level as you're rating a AAA game in 2018? It would be dinged for graphics, sound design, time, explorability, replayability, everything like that. You have to put your rating system into context. Teen Titans Go isn't set out to be some sort of Evangelion type show. It's not meant to make you think like Ghost in the Shell. It's not supposed to supply some sort of very symbolic storyline or narrative like Steven Universe. It's not trying to teach an overall moral like MLP. Teen Titans Go is an introspective look at the animation community while making tons of slapstick humor for the youngest demographic to enjoy. And in that, it succeeds and has succeeded on the level of every other top show you could think of, whether it be Star versus the Forces of Evil, Steven Universe, MLP, what have you. And speaking of those shows excel in what they're trying to do. Steven Universe wants to be that quintessential teenage show that also garners that adult following. Same thing with Adventure Time. A good show can't be measured by just a blanket value. So there's some things that you could say are basic that should be attributed to all shows, such as sound design, music, and animation quality. There should be a minimum frame rate that it runs at, but then you run into the problem of, what if it's a stylistic choice? What if the wavy lines are part of its aesthetic and actually is something that makes people gravitate towards the show? Good and bad shows are 100% dependent on the person watching them. If I can connect to a show on an emotional level and another person can, I'm going to be more invested in that show than the other person. It's simply how it works. If I enjoy a certain art style, I'm going to enjoy shows more than another person that caters to that niche. If I enjoy school life comedy romance, then I will love Fruit Basket and Aurora in High School and other animes like that. And if I hate that, then I'm going to go to Naruto and Bleach and whatever else aired on Toonami. There's no such thing as a good show, and there's also no such thing as a bad show. There are simply shows that, through our subjective opinions, we can find to be appealing to us or disagreeable to us. But we should always take the time to look at it in the context of what the show is attempting to achieve and the context of the time that the show is being aired. A show that is talking about current events and is satirizing current events is going to be much more impactful when said current events are still current and relevant. If you take a show that is talking about World War II or even a Vietnam War, you're not going to be as impacted by it or understand perhaps it as well as if you had watched it during that time period. Adventure Time is kind of a coming of age story. It deals with things that young adults often deal with, as well as a bunch of other issues and topics. But if you have yet to experience that, or it's something that you can't relate to for some reason, maybe you're an alien, then I think the show would be less impactful. You may even find some of the choices that Finn makes as overly contrived. If you're an adult and you're watching MLP in the later seasons, you may be overly cynical towards the simplicity of the morals and how hand-fisted they are in their delivery. But if you're a kid who is still young and developing, you may enjoy it more, as these are morals that you're constantly being told about, or morals that you enjoy the story of because there's stuff that you haven't personally experienced a million times. We also have to take time to acknowledge our own biases. A lot of people are influenced by YouTubers and outside forces such as their friend groups, their parents, and other close authority figures. There's a reason why children often become the same religion as their parents or vote the same group as their parents. When an authority figure, someone that pertains to have authority in your life, such as a social media influencer, aka a shit poster on YouTube, tells you that something is horrible over and over, and you see a giant green like bar on their video with minimum dislikes, you're going to say, hey, that must be the correct opinion. I'm a human. I like to go with the group because that is how a packed society works. We like to fit in, and it's nothing to be ashamed about. It's nothing to look down on yourself for falling in line with a group opinion. Being part of a group or being part of a collective ideology is not inherently bad. It is, again, a natural thing. It happens. What you have to realize is that you might be influenced, or that you probably are influenced by outside forces, and to take a retrospective look at what you're actually thinking and if it's something that you yourself still agree with. Now, someone could show you something, could point out the flaws within a story, point out the flaws within a show, and if you didn't notice that at first, that doesn't mean that you can no longer take in their opinions that they have shown into your own opinion to formulate what you now think about the show. It simply means that you should be aware that you've recently been influenced by another person, and that you may now have a sort of bias if you hold that person who was saying such things in high regard. Remember, simply because someone has a sub count does not mean that they're right. Look at a shit ton of my videos, all right? There are tons of errors in them. Tons of errors. But if your entire friend group also dislikes a show, then you're probably more likely to be peer pressured in and on a subconscious level to not like it. Again, it's nothing to be ashamed about or nothing to feel superior simply because you don't do that. It's simply how humans work and function. That's how a society works. I think MLP was a good show. I no longer think that it is a good show, but I think it is a decent show. There are other people who never enjoyed MLP, not because they never saw it, not because they saw it and formed their opinion that they did not like it, but because of other outside forces, such as it being blasted everywhere, them being told they have to watch it over and over, interactions with a fandom that is overtly toxic and suffocating, which may turn off new viewers. These are all outside forces that the show cannot control. It's the same reason why a lot of people hate Steven Universe. A lot of the times it's not because that person actually saw the show and made a 1 hour or 2 hour video explaining everything that's wrong with it in some sort of pretentious manner, but because they had a bad experience with people who aligned themselves with said show. People hate Teen Titans Go because they see it as taking away airtime from other quote-unquote more deserving shows. They see it as taking away from the original Teen Titans. They believe that this was made in place of that, meaning that if this wasn't made, that show, the original Teen Titans, would be made. This is completely retarded and dumb because obviously if you look at Cartoon Network, they're not airing a ton of adventure shows that are serious. every show that pretty much airs on Cartoon Network has an air of comedy about it, such as Adventure Time. There are tons of serious moments in it, but there's a lot more funny moments. For every dark moment in Adventure Time and Steven Universe, there are 2 moments of comedy. It's the same reason why shows like Generator X, the original Ben 10, Symbiotic Titan, Megas, XLR, shows like that are gone because Cartoon Network deemed them no longer profitable. So I'm not saying that you can't think Teen Titans Go, Steven Universe, and MLP are all shit. I can see why you would think that they are shit, but I'm not going to say that they objectively are bad or good shows either. I think that's something that each person has to individually figure out for themselves. You can be a sheep and you can just agree with me, which, you know, you should because I'm objectively right 100% of the time. Or you can agree with generic YouTuber over there who made a video saying why your favorite show is shit. And yeah, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. But whatever you choose, I hope you guys enjoyed my video. I love your faces, so I hope you at least like my video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know if there's a show that you've used to hate because everyone else hated it, or now actually enjoy because you kind of backed off from that hive mentality. For me, it literally would be MLP. That would be a show that actually kind of, now that I think of it, has gone full circular. I started off hating it, got into it, and now I just don't hate it, but I certainly don't hold it as a top premium tier show anymore. Click subscribe as well to get notified when I put out videos by also clicking that little bell, and then click always notify me, because now you need 3 steps. Follow me on social media, follow me on MySpace, SoundCloud, Instagram, which I don't have any of those. I only have a Twitter. If anyone's pretending to be me on any of those social platforms, that's not me. I'm not that hip. Woo! I do it for the love,